Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and Handshake Pro Wrestling Show. I am your host, Jayden and Shane. Joining me here at Sound Peak Studios in Topeka, Kansas, is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
I'm pretty good.
All right, this week's show, we'll get to the FSW Chris Bay Benefit Show. We'll talk Slammy ballots. But first, we're going to start with our collar and elbow question. Of course, we are at the end of another month. So, for March, who was your performer of the month?
I think I've already given it to Tony Storm before, so I'm gonna do it again.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm trying to pull up the thing. I also am giving it to Tony Storm. This is the first week. This is the first month that has happened. Of course, we did just start. You have not given it to Tony Storm before, by the way. So,
who did I give it to in January?
January you give it to Kevin Owens, and then last month you gave it to Haruki Goto.
Oh, okay.
I give it to Penta, Mercedes, and now Tony Storm. So Tony Storm getting both over. I mean, it was an incredible month for her. The match with Mariah May at Revolution, all of the character work she's done, the way she set up this Megan Bain program has been wonderful. Tony Storm, just the best thing out there this month. I really loved it. Yeah, any other honorable mentions, maybe people you thought about that maybe didn't get you the spot?
I guess Suri has some pretty good matches this month, but just not. I guess the pro of having weekly TV is that you see them every week.
Mm-hmm.
And when Suri wrestles 3 times, even though they're 3 really good matches, it's not the same.
Yeah. I feel like Cena, obviously, with the chamber turn and all of that, would have been a good pick. Punk, really, he had a great performance in the chamber and then has had multiple great promos. He had the match with Seth Rollins, so I think he could have been in there. Trying to think other AEW-wise. Hologram and Commander have been incredible this month. I've really liked their work. So, a lot of stuff going. Let's get into the news from this week. First, from AEW, a couple of show announcements here. Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor scheduled for May 2nd in New Jersey. What are your thoughts on them removing this from like the WrestleMania weekend slate and kind of
It's dumb.
Yeah.
I've been in a Mania thing for years. It was before Mania weekend was a big thing. It was still at Mania.
Yeah, I mean, I think back G1 Supercard, the crossover one with New Japan in 2019 was pretty big. So yeah, that's fair. The only people it's gonna piss off is the Ring of Honor like hardcore guys, who are the only people who care about Ring of Honor anymore. Yeah, Ring of Honor is only for the hardcores and the people who happen to be in the building when they tape it before Dynamite. Those are like the people who Ring of Honor is for right now. A kind of bigger announcement here, though. AEW announces Spring Breakthrough, a special episode of Dynamite, which will be on April 16th, and is celebrating a huge milestone. Shane, do you want to talk about that?
It's the when they passed Nitro.
Yep. So this will be the 289th episode of Dynamite. Nitro has had 288 episodes in its runtime from 95 to 2001. This will be AEW passing that. Pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean
for a pissant T-shirt company.
For what is, I guess, pretty much just the company that started with Dynamite, whereas Nitro had like the popularity already.
Yeah, the WCW already had stuff rolling to start.
It's
Nitro.
kind of amazing that in this past 5 years, AEW hasn't had a total like doom period yet. Whereas
they got close.
they did get close.
They've not had anything close to what Nitro had as far as doom pyramids.
Of course not. But like even like TNA had a down period for the first 5 years. Raw had a down period in the first 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty special that Dynamite hasn't.
Yeah, and it's been spectacular weekly TV. I think it's been over that, time sample. I think it's easily been the best weekly wrestling show. And it's just really cool that they're going to be celebrating that. The other cool part about this is the timing, which is complete circumstance that their special celebrating the fact that they're beating Nitro kicks off WrestleMania weekend. So it'll be like Dynamite right into the collective, into Stand and Deliver, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania.
Well, technically the collective starts Wednesday now, but
okay, but it'll be kind of Dynamite.
Yeah.
and the Collective that first night, and then into the rest of the Collective.
For all you lamos not watching Dragon Gate USA, you can watch Dynamite.
Yeah. I might try to watch both.
I know where I'll be. I know where I'll be.
Dragon Gate USA is like, if you count Dynamite, like 5th on the list of things I want to get to, but it is on there. What any stuff you'd like to see from the celebration of beating Nitro? I think a Sting appearance would be fun.
It'd be really funny if they just made it WCW for a day.
So just bad or
no? Nitro had its good moments.
Nitro had its good pre-NWO. There's some great Nitro.
There's some good stuff at post too.
There's some good stuff post too, but I think it's at its peak is like 95 through like that first few months of NWO.
97 is perfect too.
What other WCW legends would you like to see there?
Scott Steiner, live mic.
God, that'd be perfect. Man, who? Shit, dude.
I mean, it'd be fun to see like a Sting, a Goldberg, maybe as like a little appearance like in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Bischoff just so pissed off, never been more pissed off in his life. It'd be fun too.
Hear me out. Commentated by Mike Tenay and Tony Schiavone.
You need Mike Tenay. I'm there. I'll be
like
there.
The whole show. No Excalibur, no Nigel. Maybe Daddy Magic. Daddy Magic can be there for a match, but
we need a Don West replacement. That's the thing. Because Mike Tenay's best work was in TNA, not in WCW.
But if we're celebrating WCW and
we need the Bobby the Brain.
And you can't get Heenan or Dusty. You can only do Schiavone and Tenay.
Yeah, you might as well bring on like Zbyszko.
I don't know. Yeah, you could Zbyszko.
Mark Madden
I'm trying to think of which WCW legends aren't on WWE Legends deals now.
Bro.
It's like Sting. Because I think the Steiners are on a Legends deal.
But what? Well, we've seen that the Legends deals can kind of swap around, though. Remember Jake Roberts.
That's true. Or does Jake Snake just have a video game deal? Or does he have a full-on Legends deal?
I would think that Billy Gunn has a Legends deal, too.
Yeah, Billy Gunn has at least a video game deal, yeah.
He got in the Hall of Fame, too.
So maybe we could get... I'm just trying to think. Like it's a rough pickings.
Alex Wright.
Yeah. Technically, you could get Disco Inferno. Okay, Disco Inferno answers Max Caster's open challenge, and it's the first one Caster wins.
They do a dance off, and Alex Wright storms the ring like, "Why wasn't I invited?" And then he does a stupid dance, and then his tights. He pulls out his pants, and he's wearing the gear that's way too tight.
It's Alex Wright. It's just one backstage segment where Alex Wright dances with Prince Nana. I don't think you could get Ron Simmons, but he wasn't even really a Nitro guy.
Butch Reed's dead.
Yeah, they're kind of pre-Nitro. I'm trying more Nitro centric.
You
can't get DDP?
Yeah, but I think if you could get Doom, you wouldn't get Doom.
You would get Doom if you could get Doom. You get Doom. Can't get Booker. Man, this is really slim pickings. You get Hoovy. Hoovy in Psychosis. What's Blitzkrieg doing? Oh, you get Glacier.
You get Glacier. Come on. You're missing the most important WCW legend who appeared on at least one WCW show in the year 1999.
Conan.
Super Kendo.
Super Kendo. Yeah, we get Super Kendo. You get the new La Parka from AAA. Vampiro. Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Is Raven still doing stuff? Is he still doing appearances and whatnot?
If you give him enough money, he could. Hardcore Hack. Well, he's got a Legends deal. So weird to think about.
Who?
Sandman has a Legends deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure they could pull some stuff off, but I think really a Sting moment would be cool. Speaking of Legends deals, WWE has announced a couple Legends going into the Hall of Fame, the Natural Disasters. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm a huge fan of this pick, honestly.
It's a good one.
It's
a good one.
It's overdue for John Tenta at the minimum.
Oh yeah, I love that Tugboat's going to be in the Hall of Fame
Yeah,
now.
I mean Typhoon, Tugboat, also well deserved. But
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, like I love Tugboat too. But John Tenta should have been a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he really should have been. Also, by like all accounts, just the nicest dude you'd ever meet was John Tenta.
Oh, yeah,
Earthquake, like that's yeah.
His son's speech is gonna be emotional. Calling it right
Oh
now.
man, yeah.
Calling it
His
right
son
now.
is Typhoon still around? Is he
I
still
believe
alive?
so, yeah.
So Typhoon will be there, and Earthquake's son.
It'll probably be Typhoon and John Tenta's son. And yeah.
Wait, did Earthquake not go in the Hall of Fame on his own?
Nope. I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember because maybe he's just one of those guys that I always just assumed was in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's not in any Hall of Fame actually.
That's unfortunate.
even-
He should be in more Hall of Fames.
Well, I don't think All Japan has one.
He's not even in the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame.
He's not.
I don't know if that's even real. I just made that up.
It is.
I just saw that he's Canadian and just made it up.
I only know because Fergie Jenkins from the Cubs is in it.
Nice.
So that's the only reason I know it's real.
Yeah. Wait a second. He was Golga?
Yeah.
I did not know that
He was
until
Golga.
just now. That's crazy.
That's why he should. That's why he should have been in the Hall of Fame. Is he had to live to being Golgo of ICB,
Yeah.
who one half of will be in St. Louis DCW.
Him and Typhoon were SWS tag team champions.
Typhoon even had a weird mind. So
Yeah. He got up that Earthquake was once number 40 on the PWI 500 in 92.
he should have been on there more than once.
Yeah.
But he should have been. On
Surely he was on there more than once. Wikipedia usually just ranks their highest, like
Okay.
whatever they got to.
Surely he should have on there more than once. But also you got to remind that after Earthquake, he was given terrible gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
I see his tight XW run. See Golga.
Mm-hmm. Because Golga was the one with the South Park shirt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kurgan was the
Kurgan was
tall guy.
was the tall dude who couldn't wrestle.
And I know Luna
Luna
Vachon,
Vachon was-
obviously. Vachon,
So
yeah.
if it was just John Tenta and Luna Vachon, it's a good team.
Yeah. Next piece of news here, getting outside of WWE. North Carolina Senate introduces Ric Flair Act to research possible creation of Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
You know
So
what?
this comes from an article on Fightful by Skylar Russell. What were you going to say?
I like that. There's already even though there's like 15 Pro Wrestling Hall of Fames already.
Yeah, but this says on Monday, March 24th, WRAL News reported on the North Carolina Senate creating a bipartisan bill that could possibly set up a future professional wrestling Hall of Fame in the state. The bill, titled the Ric Flair Act, will grant $500,000 to North Carolina's Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, allowing them to study the potential introduction of a professional wrestling Hall of Fame. The department is expected to deliver a report by summer 2026. So, of course, this is environmental impact studies. This is, community thoughts. Like, is there community engagement for this? Could this make money? Really, is what this is going to look into.
I could imagine they could make money.
I really like this idea. And you know what? This may be the best thing Ric Flair's ever contributed to anything ever.
Yeah. I mean, the Cauliflower Alley is the closest we have to a physical Hall of Fame.
It's insane that WWE doesn't have a physical Hall of Fame because they would make bonkers money on the physical Hall of Fame. They would charge you like $1 million a ticket, but a lot of people would go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It would be one of those bucket list things.
I'd go and I just yoink all the Bull Nakano stuff and run.
Well, you know what would be cool is if they did it with the I don't know, next to the Performance Center, and then there was like a tour that was a tour of the Performance Center and of the Hall of Fame. Like, that'd be really cool to get to do as a fan.
I mean, all you gotta do is you gotta make a building with 3 wings, like performers,
Celebrities, and then what that
pioneers.
Well, there's the performers, the celebrities, and then there's that one that they do where they just like kind of list off like 12 people every year, and they're like they're sort of in the Hall of Fame now. You know what I mean? The way that like Mildred Burke's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like this. This is actually a really cool thing that I hope pans out.
Ricky Dozan's in the Hall of Fame that way.
Yeah, a lot of people you find out are in the Hall of Fame that way. Like, I think Fritz von Erich might be in the Hall of Fame that way.
Assume so.
There's a lot of people that
Giant Baba is in the Hall
that
of
are
Fame.
in that.
I would assume if Inoki's in the Hall of Fame, I'd be amazed if Giant Baba's not going to be in there at some point.
Yeah. Because also it would take a lot of the question, like a lot of people's criticism of the WWE Hall of Fame is that it's a page on a website and not a real Hall of Fame. And excuse the doorbell there.
Next topic, I guess. You've been told to move on.
Legacy inductees. That's what they call it. The legacy inductees.
Oh, I think Inoki is just an inductee.
Inoki's just an inductee. He was just straight up put in it. But like El Santo or Bruiser Brody, I think are legacy inductees.
Why is Inoki in the Hall of Fame for WWE just in general and not? Okay, he won the WWE. He won the title one time.
But they don't recognize it.
Refused to come back of America with the title, and they immediately shipped him the belt. Like, I don't.
All right, WWE Hall of Fame legacy inductees. Of any the ones that I recognize here, we got like Bruiser Brody, Mildred Burke, June Byers, Haystacks Calhoun is in there.
That big fat guy.
Dick the Bruiser, Frank Gotch, Judy Grable, George Hackenschmidt, Gary Hart, Lord Alfred Hayes. Why is Lord Alfred Hayes not just a regular inductee, as like a commentator and
president,
TV personality? Yeah. SD Jones, Ed Lewis,
I'm very certain Mickey Dozan.
Jim Londos, Boris Malenko, Hiro Matsuda, Wahoo McDaniel, Sputnik Monroe, Pat O'Connor, Ricky Dozan, El Santo, Buzz Sawyer, Stan Stasiak, Professor Tanaka, Luthez, Luna Vachon.
Why is
I don't know why she's just
why is Stan Stasiak and
Bearcat Wright,
Luna Vachon is not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. And this is the list according to Wikipedia. There might be more. I don't know, but that is the list according to Wikipedia. But yeah, there's a few of those that should be real Hall of Famers. CMLL announces Mystico will be out for 2 weeks due to injury. So heal up, Mystico. You hate to see anybody get injured, but especially one of the best in the world like Mystico. In other Mexican wrestling news, Alberto El Patron this week was suspended from wrestling in Tijuana for 6 months for trying to do a Malice at the Palace. Apparently, apparently what happens is he goes into the crowd to confront a fan. He doesn't start any kind of brawl, but another fan throws a chair at him and hits him in the head with it. He doesn't seem to have been seriously injured from it, then it just kind of got heated and he ended up getting suspended. So
he barely maliced in that palace.
He barely maliced in the palace, but yeah.
He's Jermaine O'Neal, the malice of the palace.
Yeah. On to our quick hits here. First up, Maple Leaf Pro files to trademark real Canadian beer. Tell me a better gimmick that Robert Roode could have had if he was still active, dude. I wish Bobby Roode could.
That'd be the best Bobby Roode gimmick of all time.
It's just a mix between like the two teams / factions he was in. It's a mix of Team Canada Bobby Roode and why am I blanking on his team name with James Storm? Beer Money Inc. Bobby Roode. That would be really great. Next we have Nikita Lyons Raps. Thoughts? Did you listen to it?
I did.
I didn't listen to it,
so bad.
But I could tell from the muted Twitter videos that it was annoying and bad. Like, you know what I mean? I could see that it was bad.
It might not be, to you, it might not be the worst wrestling rated rap that's happening this month. Obviously, you're going to get that in GCW Corner. But
it looked bad. MLW Battle Riot 7 moving to a larger venue.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Shout out to Court Bauer.
Yeah.
Damn.
I used to watch MLW a lot during the pandemic, but then the world started back up and I just didn't have time for it. But I'm kind of excited for Battle Riot 7. I might check it out because they keep announcing fun names for it. And Kushida and Blue Panther got announced for it recently.
The old guy Blue Panther?
Yeah, old guy Blue Panther.
Dude. I'm so happy he wasn't seriously hurt with that entrance. Did you see that clip?
No.
Blue Panther, the old guy, did a jump
and
blew out his knee, making his entrance. This is also the same guy who is like at least 60-something years old and does the craziest jumps you've ever seen for a guy his age to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the goats.
Yeah. Next one here, Gail Kim, Ariel Schnerner. Others fired by TNA Wrestling.
Stupid move. However, the replacement of being Delirious is a great move.
Delirious will be, you said that Delirious will be the head of creative.
That's a
move.
good move.
Mm-hmm.
I think TNA will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
If they fire Tessa Blanchard, I'm
even better.
I'm off this Saturday. I might go, but
yeah. And last one here, Metro Boomin, MGK, and more to perform at WWE WrestleMania After Dark.
I'm fine with Metro Boomin. He's popular. The kids love him. Why are you giving me MGK and the Yeet Twins?
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get to those Yeet Twins here in a little bit. But first... No, I think they're just brothers.
It doesn't matter. I'm calling them the Yeet Twins now.
No, I think Jimmy's a little bit older. Are they twins? Jamie, pull that up.
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. Someone else on another podcast that I listen to says that sometimes, making fun of Joe Rogan. They are twin brothers.
You've done DMT?
What?
You ever done DMT?
Have I ever done DMT?
It's another Joe Rogan
thing.
It's another Joe Rogan thing.
Okay. Let's see. The Uso brothers. Okay, well, what were they? Let me just double check this because I think they are twins. See, August 22nd, 85. August 22nd, 85. Yeah, they're twins. So, the Yeet twins.
Yeet.
Yeah. Let's see. What were we doing? Oh, yeah, AEW TV now. That's where we got distracted by the Uso brothers, whether they're twins, and in the Joe Rogan Experience. On a Dynamite, we had that four-way to determine the new contender for the international title. Last week, I said I wanted Ricochet to win, but I thought Mike Bailey would win, and then they just both won.
Yeah.
So, triple threat. What do you think of that? Kenny,
I think it's gonna be
Speedball Ricochet.
So good, dude.
This is gonna rule. This is the kind of match that, like, 10 years ago, young Mike Bailey was, like, dreaming of. You know what I mean?
Well, 10 years ago, Mike Bailey was stuck in Canada.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be great. I liked the match, the four-way. I like Mark Davis wrestling every week. It's been really fun. Monet versus Starks. This was Billy Starks' 500th career match. She is 20 years old. She started wrestling when she was 14.
My favorite thing is that...
Or maybe 15. I don't remember.
My favorite thing is that somebody's complaining and she's still green. She's dropping people on her head.
Yeah. She's a vet now. She's wrestled 500 matches.
Brother, you would not last a day on the King's Road, my man.
Yeah.
And she brought that up, too, which is the best part.
Yeah. I wonder, just for comparison, I know it's going to be much more, especially because she was in WWE and doing the house show circuit.
Billy Starks, what is your favorite?
I wonder how many matches Mercedes Monet has wrestled in her career.
Probably a ton more.
987.
Yeah.
So, career, she started 15 years ago, and she hasn't wrestled 1,000 matches. And Billy started 6 years ago. And has wrestled 6 or 7 years ago and has wrestled 500 matches.
Well, like part of it is after she kind of leaned like a lax schedule.
I guess that's true. She hasn't wrestled a lot. She didn't wrestle a lot for a couple of years there. But 500 matches since 20. She had one match in 2018. She's been wrestling full time since 2019. So that's crazy. Next up, we have, and then the last thing I want to talk about on Dynamite, actually, or no, we have two more things. First, the world title match. Did you like Mox Cope 2 more than Mox Cope 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was one of the few people who liked the first match. I do think this was better, though. And then, of course, the spike spot. Breakdown, for anybody who missed it, talk us through the spike spot. And then we'll talk about how gross it was.
The greatest television wrestling bump I have ever seen.
Really, for me, only contends with Darby's glass
That was pay-per-view.
for. Well, I was gonna say for just anything overall,
I guess, yeah.
but I haven't watched as much FMW and whatnot as you have. So.
Greatest television wrestling bump of all time. I
Mhm.
cannot believe I watched this with my own eyes on American TV.
Mm-hmm.
So first they use it as a weapon first, which is
He just hits him in the back with it first.
crazy.
Like Moxley's like bent over at the waist, and then he just whack.
Which of course Moxley would take that. It's not the most intense thing he's ever done in his life, believe it or not. And then you do a back suplex, and he lands on it.
Yeah, it was just a regular. I think it was just a regular standing suplex, just a run of the mill. The first suplex you learn when you're becoming a wrestler, but onto a board of some sort with spikes sticking out of it. Insane, and it got stuck. The way it got stuck in his back.
The fact that it got stuck made it the best bump.
It reminded me of his skewers spot at the first All In. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Where Penta puts the skewers in his head and they're like sticking out. Like it was like that. That was what it immediately flashed my mind back to. Just so gross. Awesome match. Mox drove 11 hours to be there because their flights got canceled because of weather and stuff.
Yeah, his match quality has gone down the shitter until that Wednesday. Because they keep giving him matches he's not good at doing, but he drove 11 hours to almost get a severe injury in his back.
Yeah,
what a goddamn worker.
Yeah, and then the last thing, Chris Statlander versus Megan Bayne is a matchup I'm willing to watch 1,000 times. They were awesome together, immediate chemistry. It was an awesome match. Considering it, I haven't really knocked down exactly what I want to do with my awards at the end of the show, but that's definitely a consideration. What do you think of Stat and Megan Bayne?
That was pretty good.
Main event.
I think it's crazy that a main event player in AEW is actively going to be on any circuit for a couple more months.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. On Collision was split up over Saturday and Sunday this week because of the NCAA tournament. Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole went to a draw. What'd you think of the match?
I thought it was an okay match.
Yeah. Cole's starting to kind of beef up a little bit, too. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little more muscle on him. It's just something I want to pitch. I kind of want to see Garcia and Daddy Magic turn heel.
Could you imagine heel commentator Daddy Magic, though?
That would be great.
That'd be so good.
And then it just feels like a heel Garcia feud with babyface Adam Cole here, because they're kind of both babyfaces, and it's been pretty good. But I think if Garcia if they just can't beat each other, and Garcia turns heel just out of frustration on Adam Cole and just beats the hell out of him, I think that'd be interesting. I think this Garcia title reign's been kind of vanilla. And I think we could spice it up with a Garcia heel turn. I don't know, just an idea. Hook beats Max Caster in the Best Wrestler Alive Open Challenge thing. He's now 0-6, I believe, was the number I saw. Konosuke Takeshi and the Murder Machines have made their claim to being the most badass wrestling trio of all time.
Yeah.
That was an awesome trio. They faced Powerhouse Hobbs, Rocky Romero, and Mark Briscoe. And it was a really fun match.
The only way you can improve it is if it was Takeshita and the Gates of Agony.
Yeah, I think that'd be
personal
awesome.
belief, though.
A personal bias because we're big Bishop Khan guys. We're the biggest Bishop Khan guys in the business today.
We might actually be the biggest Bishop Khan guys in the business. You say that, but that might not be a joke.
Yeah. I really like, honestly, any combination of those five men: Cage, Archer, Takeshita, and the Gates Agony. Like any combo. Where have they been? Is one of them hurt?
I don't know. I'm assuming Ring of Honor, but
okay, yeah, I don't know. They need more TV time. Another thing, it is time to admit that Jericho has found something pretty good with this Bandito feud.
Yeah, but it's not because of him.
It's been really good. It's kind of because of him. The beatdown of Gravity in front of Bandito and Gravity's family. The promo he cut 2 weeks ago holding the mask was really good. And then this week, the Bandito trying to reclaim the mask, Jericho putting the mask on himself. Insane. Supercard of Honor May 2nd when Bandito, or if they do it at Dynasty, whenever they want to do it. Because you could do it at Dynasty, Bandito wins, rematch at Supercard, right? Whenever they do this, it's gonna have a lot of heat, and I'm really enjoying it. So as bad as Jericho's been for the last couple of years, credit where credit is due. He's got something here. This has been really, really good, and I'm excited every week to see where this goes next. You have any thoughts on it? What are you thinking of it? Am I overreacting here?
I feel like you're overreacting a little, but I think it's still the best work he's done. And
I would say, is it something where maybe my bar is so low?
I feel like it is.
He's lowered the bar.
My bar is so high that like this isn't his best work, but like I really.
And think about this, it's going to lead to a big crowning moment for Bandito, either in Philly for Dynasty or in New Jersey for Supercard.
Where I really would love to have a crowning moment is in Philly or New Jersey.
And then it could lead to just an awesome Bandito title reign.
I say that jokingly as a GCW fan, as a big hypocrite, because their crowning biggest moment this year will probably be in New Jersey.
Mm. So I know that, and then Titanes del Aire, I don't know how to say it. The Titans of the Air, Commander and Hologram.
The best new team this year by far.
Yeah, so far, yeah. Mordos and Jalistico also awesome. Great tag match. I love Harley Graham. I love that whole thing.
Did you see that camera cut from Harley Graham to
Commander Walk? Yeah, that was like some comic book shit. Like that is how if you were doing a wrestling comic book, that is how you would do the panels for that spot. It would be like a long panel of him like walking the rope like that. And then a panel of him doing the whatever flip or whatever he did. That was awesome. Any other notes on AEW this week from you? All right, let's move on. SmackDown this week. Of course, as always, I don't watch SmackDown, but the reading about it, nothing jumped out to me. Was there anything from SmackDown that you saw that was interesting?
Not really.
I think the only thing I saw is that there were people like Street Profits versus Los Garza, which should be
a good match.
Seems like every week the thing that gets talked about the most out of SmackDown is the tag division. It's whatever the Profits in Los Garza, in Pretty Deadly, in the Machine Guns at DIY.
Like 2004 all over again.
Yeah, it's 2002. It's the SmackDown 6, except for it's like the SmackDown 10 this time. And then on Raw. So Raw was last night. I have a lot of thoughts. Cena and Cody start the show. Starts with Cena. This was good again. But
are you sure? Because my Discord notifications have been 2 people just sitting on Raw the entire night.
Cena and Cody, I think the promos were good again. But when are we going to acknowledge the angle? Cena's now explained twice why he turned, why he did what he did, but he hasn't explained The Rock's involvement. Like we haven't seen The Rock, we haven't acknowledged The Rock since Chamber. So, like, when are we going to play into the storyline here?
He's not going to be a Mania. I've come to terms with that. He's not going to be a Mania.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, we can talk about him, though? Like, can we... Why are you with The Rock? Why are you going back on everything you said about The Rock? What was that? WrestleMania 28, so 13 years ago? Why are you going back on all that now? Explain that. Like, we know you're a heel now. You've explained why you're a heel, but explain why you're a heel in the way that you did it. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. Also, honestly, shout out to Pat McAfee. He showed a shocking amount of restraint. He talked, I think, one time during the promos, he had a little reaction to something Cena said, and then he talked up Cody during Cody's entrance, and that was it, and that was great. Also, we talked about the mystery partner for Jey Uso last week. We threw around Joe Hendry. I still think the best option would have been Gunther, but it was Jimmy. We got a little Usos reunion, a little welcome to the Uso Penitentiary against A-Town Down Under, and then we get a little spot where Jimmy slaps Gunther. After. We'll get to what Jay does, but after.
Okay. You're missing a big thing here.
Just my first note is Jimmy Uso did more feuding with Gunther in one night than Jay has done since the Rumble.
No, but Jay all he has to do is yeet, yeet, yeet.
Yeah,
yeet,
and then
yeet,
the other
yeet,
thing
yeet.
is, and then this is where I'm really going to have some thoughts. Jey Uso slipped going for the spear. Okay? On purpose. So what I am seeing right now is that the storyline is that Jay can't wrestle. So that means one of two things. Either the storyline is that he suddenly can't wrestle, or the storyline is that he is like a 10-time tag team champion. He won the Intercontinental title, and he won the Rumble on fucking accident. Like, that is what you're telling me with this. If you're telling me that Jey Uso can't wrestle...
No, because like the worst part I can see where they're going with this, because Jay will win the belt on a fluke, and you know who's going to feud for? He's going to feud for right after the belt. He wins the belt.
Who?
Jimmy Uso.
Maybe.
Which would be terrible for business.
Like, just what is this? So for weeks we had no storyline, and now the storyline is that Jey Uso sucks.
Well, he does. First of all, he does. I'll be blunt.
Yeah, but why would you make that the storyline? Why is that how you're going to present your Royal Rumble winner in possible future world champion?
Beat the shit out of him, dude. That's why.
If that's where this ends, if it's a squash at Mania and Gunther beats the hell out of him, I'm for it. But this is just not a good way to present Jey Uso and make me believe in him.
Come on, man. This guy start going yeet, 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 yeet.
Dude, this is... God, if just any young talent in the WWID program or in the Performance Center, Evolve, any of that, if you happen to be listening to this, maybe if you started yelling, "What are those?" all the time, I think maybe you could have a big career, because that's basically what Jey Uso's doing with Yeet. He's taking an old meme from our childhood and is turning it into something. The Yeet thing is stupid. I can get past it, but really what's stupid is that Jimmy Uso has had a better feud with Gunther than Jey Uso has, and it's been 1 week. And Jey Uso can't wrestle is the storyline. I hate that. On to another thing that I sort of hated, El Grande Americano.
Listen, I have some thoughts that I want to get into.
Okay, you can go first, and then I can get into my notes.
This gimmick is stupid because it's not happening in Mexico. It's being booked by a guy who probably thinks this is the funniest thing in the world. In Mexico, he'd be super over as El Grande Americano, as a bad guy, as a heel who...
But would Mexican audiences get the joke that that's a coffee order?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably, because, I mean, look.
Do they have Starbucks in Mexico?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so they probably would.
Either or that is like the haha.
Is the grande in Mexico? Is the grande size called the big size, or the large?
I hope so. because like, this gimmick has been done in Mexico before by Sam Adonis, who just played up. Oh, I support Trump. Look at me. Da, 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 da.
Also, I mean, I don't know if it was. I mean, obviously it wasn't anything related to Trump, but isn't this sort of how Los Gringos Locos got over?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
when Eddie
we're
and
American and we're better than you, losers. Ha ha,
Yeah.
fuck you. Yeah, it is, pretty much, yes.
So my notes in this are more on the execution than what it is, than where it is.
I'll be blunt. Mexico doing this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
CML doing this is fine. Triple H doing this, he probably thinks this is the funniest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Triple H doing this would be bad if it wasn't Chad Gable, the most entertaining man in wrestling.
You know what?
We are back to a point where we were like about a year ago, where Chad Gable is the thing I look forward to on Raw more than anything other than the main event picture. Like, outside of the main event picture, I'm looking forward to Chad Gable more than Braun Breaker, more than the New Day, even more than my boy Rey Mysterio. I am looking forward to what Chad Gable does. But my notes, I do have a couple criticisms. Well, I have 1.5 criticisms, I'd say. Stupid AI shit. You spend all this time telling us how much money you make. Pay a real artist to make those drawings of Grande Americano's history in that promo pack or that vignette package. Okay, let's not use AI for this. Let's get a real artist. Let's do this the right way. What are your thoughts on the Gulf of America thing?
I think it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like it's a thing that they would do in Mexico, but it's still pretty stupid.
I only like it within the context of this gimmick, right? If they had like a show in Houston or like, I don't know, somewhere in Florida or Louisiana that was by the Gulf of Mexico and they did like a Gulf of America street fight, that would be bad. I wouldn't like that. But in the context of this being Chad Gable, whose like character is sort of that he's like the world's smartest dipshit, but he also like wrestles like Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like that's a good way to just like to kind of dwindle down what Gable does?
So I see mixed things, people online about it, but like it does feel because
it also doesn't feel genuine. It feels heelish.
Well, yeah, true, that too, but it just kind of feels like because it's so topical. And who's running the company?
That is true. Because of who's running the company, I could see why.
That's my problem with it. But legitimately, if this was Conan, if this was the Booker for Steel LL, if
this was Tony Khan,
if this was if it was like before this year, it'd be so good. Mm-hmm. But given topical, given who's running WWE,
honestly, if this was Japan, this would be funny. It's really just the context of it being WWE.
It doesn't feel like they're doing it. It didn't feel like they're doing it because of Chad Gable. Which to me, I'm even the benefit of the doubt that it is.
See, I took it the other way. I feel like it is because it's the goofiness of Chad Gable. You know what I mean? Because like I just said, like if they were running Houston for like a pay-per-view, if it was like, you know, Payback in Houston, and one of the matches was the Gulf of America street fight, and it was like Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman or something.
That match would be so good, though.
It'd be good, but them calling it the Gulf of America street fight would be something I'd really criticize, right? Yeah. But them doing this gimmick where where Chad Gable has made up this luchador persona, and he has himself billed from the Gulf of America. It's kind of funny. Like, it is fun. It's really funny. So I'm good with it because of the context of who Chad Gable's been as a character pretty much his entire career. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And because of the context of this made up, this fictional legendary luchador, dream match. I want to see El Grande Americano versus El Generico. Just if El Generico could come out of retirement and make that happen, that'd be awesome. The actual performance was really good. Like him actually the match he had with Dragon Lee was very good. El Grande Americano. So we'll leave it there. Speaking of real luchadors, Penta versus Braun Breaker. Not as a great match on its own. I just want to bring up, I really like what they're doing with the Intercontinental title for the Mania build, because they're playing with our expectations in a way that is interesting. Because this time, really from like the start of the Rumble, even before like kind of the start of the year and all year, people try to figure out what the WrestleMania card's going to be. And I like that they kind of like, oh, it's going to be Braun and AJ Styles. And they're like, nah, we're pivoting. It's AJ and Logan. It's going to be Braun and Finn Balor. No, wait, we did that on Raw. It's going to be Braun and Penta. No, wait, we did that on Raw. So, like, we're kind of like, they keep tricking us, basically. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like they're thinking a little outside of the box with the Intercontinental title build. I wish they were doing anything interesting with the U.S. title. But what have you thought of this Intercontinental title kind of revolving door situation?
I don't know. I don't know.
I wish Sheamus was involved, though. That was my one note.
Yes.
I wish Sheamus was involved. Where do you think this ultimately ends as a WrestleMania match? Do you think we get like a 4-way?
I saw it was gonna be a 4-way. Yeah. So.
Oh, has it been announced or?
No, it's just that's
leaked?
The plan.
The plan is Braun, Balor, Penta, Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Braun, Penta, Finn, and somebody else.
Finn and.
I think it might be Dominic, but that is definitely a plan to be a 4-way. Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on so many multi-man situations on WrestleMania? Are you a big get them on the card guy, or do you not care at all?
No, WrestleMania 2000 sucked, so this is gonna suck too.
At least we have some one-on-one matches happening at this one.
Yeah.
That was the WrestleMania where it was literally no one-on-one matches, right? Everything was a triple threat or a tag team or a battle royal or whatever. But we did get, that was one of the TLC matches, right? Or was it just a ladder match that year? Something. Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian. On to our next little bit here. WWE released the voting for the Slammy Awards. You can go find that anywhere on their social media. Here, I just have a list of the nominees on Fightful. They do have links to the votes. You can go get it. We're just going to kind of do our ballots. So I'll read off. The way we'll do this is I'll read off who WWE has put in as the nominees. Shane will make his pick. I'll make my pick. We'll just do that. So, first, Breakout Superstar of the Year. So I think this goes from WrestleMania last year to now. We have Braun Breaker, Lyra Valkyria, Penta, Obafemi, Julia, Tiffany Stratton, Jacob Fatu, Chelsea Green, Stephanie Vaquer. One thing I don't like about this list of nominees is by including Oba, Julia, and Stephanie Vaquer, you're counting NXT in this. So, like, Braun Breaker, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton shouldn't be here because they all already broke out in NXT in years prior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But who would be your pick out of these, I don't know, like 9 people? 8, 9 people?
Madam President, the
Chelsea Green?
Yeah.
Really like that?
I feel like just because she's.
I did text you last night. I did the math. And if she holds the title until October, what was it, 26th? 2029. She will hold the title for 1776 days, and I'm kind of all the way there with that. Yeah, October 24th, 2029. If she holds the title until then, she would have been champ for 1,776 days. So you're going Chelsea Green?
Yeah.
It'd either be her or Obafemi for me. I think I'm leaning Chelsea Green, but I think Obafemi, shout out, he'd be my second pick. Social Star of the Year, 2 nominees, Chelsea Green and Drew McIntyre, and it is by far Drew McIntyre. I love everything Chelsea's been doing. It is by far Drew McIntyre. What are your thoughts?
For a breakout?
No, for Social Star. Social media
Drew
star of the
McIntyre,
year,
yeah.
Chelsea and Drew.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. The WTF moment of the year, and now here we go. R-Truth calls Triple H Ciampa. Kevin Owens' car interviews. Chelsea Green goes into the dumpster. Dominic Mysterio in the shark cage. I Show Speed with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. LA Knight in Logan Paul's pool, something I forgot happened until just now when I read that. R-Truth wrestles with John Cena. Rabid noises from Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu's I Love You Solo in the Wyatt 6 debut. So 2 of those are just like weird catchphrases.
Yeah.
That started. R-Truth teaming with Cena was a fun moment, but I don't think it was a WTF moment. None of this made me go, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I'll be real. I'm actually going to Tama Tonga because when I first heard that, that did make me go, what the fuck?
I guess that's true. That's fair.
Not what the fuck, but like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, more of a questioning,
Yeah.
not a this is awesome kind of thing. I guess I would have to go with the Wyatt 6 debut. I don't know. This is a bad category. Or it's a good idea for a category, but it's a bad list of options. Match of the year. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell. Roman and Rock versus Cody and Rollins at Mania. Liv versus Rhea SummerSlam. Priest versus Gunther SummerSlam. Cody versus AJ Backlash. Men's War Games, which is OG Bloodline and Punk versus New Bloodline. Bayley Io at Mania. Underratedly great match. Sammy versus Gunther at Mania. Gunther versus Randy in Berlin. And Seth versus Punk on the Raw Netflix premiere. It's Punk and Drew. Close second, I think, goes to Bayley Io. War Games was also awesome for me.
I'm going to give it to Punk and Drew, but second place to me is Cody versus Roman.
That's also very much up there. I think I gave all 4 of those matches 5s. Maybe the War Games I didn't quite give a 5, but it was up there. NXT Superstar of the Year. Obafemi, Roxanne Perez, Trick Williams, Ethan Page, Julia, Kalani Jordan. Some good names here, and also Ethan Page. Who are you going with?
Julia.
Julia, for the whole year, though, since last Mania, I think I have to
I'm-
give it to Obafemi.
I'm kind of considering her whole year in my head, which is not the WWE's
Not
doing
just
it.
NXT, yeah. I'm going to go Obafemi. Rivalry of the year, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
She wrestled Saray, which makes it the best year.
Yeah, so Rivalry of the year, we got Punk, McIntyre, Reigns, Rhodes, Morgan, Ripley, Priest, Balor, Owens, Rhodes, Jack Stratton, and Bloodline versus Bloodline. It's Punk and Drew by far, right? Like by a long shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe KO Cody would be second there. I don't know. Tag team of the year. A rough year for tag teams in WWE, but we'll go through it here. DIY, Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, Jayden Bianca, Motor City Machine Guns, The Bloodline, The War Raiders, Judgment Day, Street Profits, Liv and Raquel. Machine Guns, maybe?
Yeah, I'm going to go
Those options. Also, what the fuck? No Fraxium, dude? You put NXT in the other categories, where's Fraxium for tag team of the year? And
They would run away with it, you know?
yeah, it'd be too much of a landslide. Faction of the year: OG Bloodline, Judgment Day, New Bloodline, American Made, Damage Control. I don't think OG Bloodline was really together for enough of the year to count. I think I'd honestly go Damage Control.
Yeah, Damage Control.
Maybe
too.
Judgment Day. That's close.
Damage Control for me, obviously.
Yeah, Damage Control rules. OMG Moment of the Year, which is different from WTF Moment of the Year, I guess. Different. This is dumb. The longer we get into this, the dumber of a concept I feel like this is. The whole Slammys, not just us doing it on the show. Cody versus Roman match finish at Mania. That was kind of an OMG moment because I feel like, I don't know if you were included in this, but hundreds, if not thousands of people all thought Dean Ambrose was going to appear at one point in that because we were all just so locked into the story of that match.
Mm-hmm.
Dom turning on Rhea with Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Owens turning on Orton and Cody with the pile drivers. New Day turns on Big E. Stratton Money in the Bank cash in on Nia. Priest Money in the Bank cash in on Drew. The Wyatt Six debut on Raw. Braun Breaker spearing ISO Speed. Bronson Reed hitting a tsunami on Braun Strowman onto a car. Cena turning on Cody at Chamber. Roman returning at SummerSlam. Io beating Rhea to become Women's World Champion on Raw just a couple weeks ago. Interesting, Wyatt Six debut got nominated for OMG and WTF Moment of the Year.
Huh. That doesn't...
I think for me, this would have been New Day on Big E until the Cena turn, and then the Cena turn takes it.
It's a Cena turn, yeah.
Yeah, Big E, the New Day Big E thing close second.
Yes.
Really what hurts that one is that they've done jack shit since. We booed them out of the building in Wichita, and then nothing has happened since. Most memorable entrants. See how many of these you remember. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Jey Uso on Raw on the Raw Netflix debut with Travis Scott. Roman at Mania, Rock Mania, Bayley Mania, Orton Bash in Berlin when all of Germany sang voices. Seth Mania with the Philadelphia Mummers band. Sammy in Montreal with Jey Uso. Sammy at Mania with Kevin Owens and Gable. Logan Paul at SummerSlam with MGK, which I forgot happened until just now that I'm reading this. Dom at Bad Blood with Liv Morgan in the Lowrider, or Drew at Clash in the Castle. For me, if most memorable is Jay and Travis Scott, because Travis Scott was smoking weed on WWE TV.
Yeah.
If we're really going by most memorable, that's the one I'm going to think about next year. Not any of the rest of this bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
All right, now one of the big ones. We have the two big ones here. Male Superstar of the Year. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Gunther, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Seth freaking Rollins. Punk had the best feud. Right? Punk and Drew had the best feud, best match. I think Gunther probably has the best catalog of matches over the course of the year. I think Cody's been the biggest star. I think Cody and Punk have probably been the most consistent on the mic. I don't know. Who did we give Male Superstar of the Year to in our
I don't remember.
thing? Was it Ospreay maybe?
I feel like it might have been Oscar.
I doubt it was anybody from WWE. You and I both went Swerve. Joko went Gunther. for Wrestler of the Year this year.
I'm just gonna go with Punk.
I think I got to go with Punk too. I think a more interesting one though here. We have Liv Morgan for Female Superstar of the Year. We have Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Io Sky. Io had a pretty solid run with the belt into Mania, right? Or did she beat Bayley for the belt at Mania? How did that work last year? She went in as champion. Bayley won because Bayley won the Rumble last year. So into Mania, Chelsea has been awesome. Tiffany's been awesome with the Money in the Bank stuff. For me, it's definitely not Liv, Nia, or Bayley. I think I got to give it. Rhea's been really good. Oh, this is a tough one. This is way tougher than the men's. What do you think?
I'm gonna give it to. I'm just gonna give it to. Screw it, Chelsea Green.
Chelsea. That's what I was thinking. Actually, I was actually thinking. I think I'm leaning Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green gets Female Superstar of the Year. That's the vote for me. So those are our Slammy ballots. What an odd thing that they do there. You want to talk about FSW Mecca 10 benefit for Chris Bay? The indie show this week.
Sure.
So we will. I'll link to FSW social media pages. They have stuff on there of all the ways you can donate to help Chris Bay if you would like. I'll put that in the description. Started with the Battle Royal. So it opens with a battle royal in honor of Chris Bay, and we have a bunch of people in the ring already, and we get 2 entrances. And if you told me that before, never in a million years would I have guessed the 2 people who enter. First, it's AJ Francis, Top Dollar, right? And then it's Disco Inferno.
Yep.
What did you think of this?
I thought it was a choice.
We got, and then also an interesting thing here. In this battle royal, one of the people, I don't know if you know this, I found this out from poking around on Cage Match. Kizarny was in this battle royal.
Okay.
So explain
right.
who Kizarny is for everybody who doesn't know, which is correct, by the way. It is correct to not know who Kizarny is. It is our broken wrestling minds are the reason that we know who Kizarny is. So explain Kizarny.
Carnival dude, Carney, who lasted all of 2 weeks in WWE.
Yeah, in 2009 on SmackDown.
I think so. Something like
that. In this, he wrestled as. Let me see if I can find his new name. Also, everybody in this battle royal has some sort of connection with Chris Bay. Either they were trained by him, mentored by him, wrestled him before. He wrestled as Sin Bodhi. That is his name. That's Kizarny. So that's fun, right? A whole battle royal based around Top Dollar is something that I'm not interested in at all. Joe Braxton, also known as Action Braxton, won the battle royal. I gave it 2 stars. I don't know. Did you do star ratings for this? No. Okay. I did just for fun, but interesting way to open the show. And then we got a Swerve Strickland promo about how he wasn't cleared to compete, which was unfortunate. By the way, I guess this is a good time to mention we did do predictions for this, but I'm just throwing those out because Swerve's injury plus other people's travel issues changed this card a lot between when we predicted it and when it went down. So 3 matches would have still been eligible for our predictions. Everything else got changed, so we're just throwing the predictions out. Swerve couldn't wrestle Kenny King. He said he'll wrestle Kenny King in the future. He said he'll wrestle Chris Bay in the future. I would like to see both those matches. But then we got a surprise video tribute. Did you see from Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
Which was really cool of him to record. He recorded it while in Europe, so and he went on. And I read it. I kind of looked when I was going through for news. I found a story about this. Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, CM Punk, and Tyson Kidd all offered to work the show. They were all going to wrestle on this show, but they couldn't make it because of WWE's European tour. So the plan was for Rey Mysterio and Tyson Kidd in the year 2025 to team up against Dominic Mysterio and Karrion Kross. How insane would that have been? Tyson Kidd's return to wrestling at the Chris Bay Benefit Show. And then CM Punk also offered to wrestle but couldn't because of the tour.
Huh.
Insane.
That would have been crazy.
So that was a crazy thing I found. The FSW title scramble match. This was Danny Limelight defending against Kenny King, G Sharp, Frankie Kazarian, and WWE IT talent, one half of our favorite fictional tag team, Cold Brew, with Cappuccino Jones, tag team we're trying to manifest.
Yes.
What do you think of the scramble match? And more importantly, what are your thoughts? Is this your first Ice Williams match? The first time you've seen him wrestle? Me too. What were your thoughts on him?
I thought it was all pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like him. I like his presence.
I would like him more in Cold Brew.
I would like him way more in Cold Brew.
For what he's part of his career, yeah, he's all right. He's not the best wrestler in WID, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, I like him. He's definitely one of the guys they are throwing out there the most. He's kind of one of the leaders of the pack, I think. And so that's cool. Kenny King is always great. Frankie Kazarian is always great. Danny Limelight's pretty good. This G Sharp guy I hadn't heard of before this, but I thought he did well. I gave this 3 1/4. I like this match. I thought it was pretty good. Next, we got the Unguided versus the Rascals versus Lights Camera Faction versus Makeshift Chemistry. So Unguided is here. Let me pull this up. Is that Matt Vandegrift's tag team?
I think so.
Yeah, that's his tag team with Damian Drake. They do not tag a lot. They've actually been broken up for a few years, but they reunite for special occasions. And of course, a benefit for Chris Bay is the most special of occasions. I liked their team. I liked their look. The Rascals is always great. And the other guys in this match were pretty good too. I mean, obviously young talent on young indie talent. This is a little different than what we normally review. But I honestly thought this was 3 1/2. I really enjoyed this show or this match. You have any thoughts on the 4-way tag?
Nope.
What were your thoughts on RVD? Did you like his appearance?
I figured it's in Vegas. They might as well bring him out. You know, why not?
And also his girlfriend, wife, Katie Forbes,
girlfriend type person. Yeah.
His partner, Katie Forbes,
who got Twitch banned more than one. Who got Impact Twitch banned more than once.
That's a pretty good thing to have on your resume. That's pretty funny. She was challenging Gypsy Mac for the FSW women's title. I gave this 2 1/2. I liked RVD's little involvement in it with the chair and everything. I thought Gypsy Mac was good. I'm interested to kind of maybe follow her career. I think she'll be a lot of great young women's talent on this card. The 4-way I thought was really good too. We'll get to that in a bit, but I like this. What do you think of the women's title match? I was pretty average, I guess. It was okay.
I thought it was just okay, you know.
Yeah. Next we had Alex Zane, Aria Davari, and Nino Black versus Rhino, Jay Vidal, and Bodie Young Prodigy. Rhino not looking good in Big 2025. Might be time to hang up the boots. How old is Rhino? He old enough for that Joey Janela scramble thing?
I would be shocked if he wasn't.
He's 49.
Wow.
I guess he was pretty young at the end of ECW, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was pretty young and new in ECW. So, that was like 24. Yeah, so he would have been 25 when ECW fell apart. Yeah. This match kind of sucked. I gave it 2 stars. The door spot with Nino Black's manager getting gored through the door. I love the announcer yelling "gore, gore, gore" through the door. It's just, I like that phonetically. Anything else on this one? And then the match of the night for me was Rich Swann Ricochet. I gave this 4 stars. It was just a really fun match. I honestly, after watching this, I kind of want Tony Khan to hire Rich Swann and just let him wrestle Ring of Honor and like mid-card AEW stuff. Like he's a fun act. They did the dancing spot. And I guess he's just He's just on my mind now because of this show and the Cruiserweight Classic, which we just reviewed on our Classic series. Yeah, that was pretty good. The women's 4-way, I had only heard of one woman going into this, which is Brooke Havoc, who I've seen live at GCW. And then Jada Stone, Brittany Brooks, and Maserati. Brittany Brooks, who I would find out at the end of the show, is Chris Bay's girlfriend?
Might be, I think so.
Fiance? Why? She's definitely dating Chris Bay in some sense. She's definitely Chris Bay's partner. She wins this match, which was confusing to me at first, and then of course she comes out with Chris Bay later, and I'm like, oh, that's why. But this match was good. I liked Maserati was apparently returning from an injury. This was her first time wrestling in FSW for a while. I liked the whole dynamic of this match. I gave it 3 stars. I had some fun. I do want to say Brooke Havoc's kind of becoming one of my favorite indie wrestlers.
Is really good. So good.
She's becoming one of my favorites on the indies. I like her. I really liked her Paramore Riot gear that she wears. That was really cool too. Do you have any thoughts on the 4-way? Any thoughts on Brooke Havoc in general? Also, I could see Brittany Brooks and Maserati being something. They both have some flair, you know?
Yeah. I mean, this match was pretty good. I mean, the event was pretty good altogether. Obviously, it's a pretty good cause, so I'm not really going to shit on it. But
yeah.
I haven't watched this since 34, so I didn't know any like the regulars. But for any show, it was pretty good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we didn't know many of the really any of the regulars, but except for I know Danny Limelight, obviously.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think anybody who's like a regular there, somebody I haven't heard of. Leo Rush, Ace Austin, John Morrison. We got a heel walk away spot here from Leo Rush until Ace Austin called him a bitch. Got him back in. That was fun. Of course, Ace Austin was always going to win this. What do you think of the triple threat here?
I thought it was. I mean, I think obviously hello, but I thought it was a good show. It was. I mean, a good match. Thought
something here though. John Morrison being here proves that John Morrison and Johnny TV are different people because Johnny TV was on Collision the same night, wrestling Bandito.
Oh, I see.
So everybody thought John Morrison and Johnny TV were the same person, but they're actually different people.
Oh.
So it would appear Taya Valkyrie is cheating on John Morrison with Johnny TV.
I see. Interesting.
So some scandal. And of course the main event, Karrion Kross Hammerstone. I gave this 3 1/4. That was a pretty fun big guy match. The ending when Karrion Kross's legs fold underneath him was absolutely terrifying for his ACLs and all other ligaments in his legs.
Yes.
But I thought it was a pretty good match. Like you said, pretty good show overall. And then of course a very emotional Chris Bay. If you watch nothing from this show, go watch Chris Bay's speech at the end. If you watch nothing else from this show, I should say, definitely check that out. A very emotional moment and really cool to see him, for one, walk to the ring after all of this. Just really special. He was what the whole night was about. It was really cool to see him there. And we just hope the road to recovery continues and we see Chris Bay back in wrestling. And the more I was thinking about this, the more that, obviously I just hope he wrestles again. But I really hope we get an awesome babyface world title run wherever that comes. If that's TNA, wherever, so be it. Just he deserves such a push.
Yeah.
Just for getting through this.
Absolutely, I
agree. New Japan Cup date. Finlay wins the New Japan Cup, correctly predicted by Shane. So the prediction scores. Let me pull that up here. Like I said, I threw out FSW, so that won't count. But you won, I believe, 45-39. No, 39. You won 39-35. So you were the 39. I had 35. So this puts us total for the year. We are 3-3-1. And you have 5 more total points than me, 220 to 215. So we are close.
Not like it used to be.
Not like it used to be, which was just a complete blowout by me.
Yep.
And I'm not saying I don't think of myself as better at picking than you. I think just a lot of the 50-50s went my way. But yeah, really interesting run so far, about 3 months into the prediction season. Now, congratulations to David Finlay, by the way. I'm excited to see his match with Goto. He's who I would have rather seen win over Shota, even though if Shota won, I would have won our predictions. But Now, tape up the light tubes. Take the door off its hinges. It's time for Shane's GCW Corner.
We got some crazy stuff happening this weekend. I'll start with the show in St. Louis. They finally are promoting it that a special Violent J solo performance will happen after the show of the JCW America's Most Wanted 2 death matches. Willie Mack's going to be there. Maybe even 3 death matches now I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that show in Chicago on March 29th is even better, I think, than that show. Because of the world title match to start. Effie, the world champion, takes on the biggest wrestler in the world. Bar none. The tallest. The meanest.
The biggest.
Microman. And then my favorite match of this weekend probably will be the GCW Ultra Violent title match, Matt Tremont, Matt Warner.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple more things from the Week Collective. You have some announcements for the clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one was Unaki, I think Sayaga is her name, Japanese Joshi. She didn't know who. She's like, who's my opponent gonna be? Like, does she know what a clusterfuck?
Yeah. My favorite announcement was Joey Janela's.
Oh, yes. I forgot. There were a couple announcements for Joey Janela's Spring Break. I will say them here. It is...
Actually, 2 of my favorite announcements were Joey Janela's.
One called Manders against Zack Sabre Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And Hammerstone's going to be at the LA show.
Nice.
By the way. And the most interesting match I've ever heard of in my life... The Senior Rumble, a 55-plus gauntlet match sponsored, not really, but sponsored by ARP.
So, I've been thinking about people, okay? First name that immediately came to mind, Minoru Suzuki.
Yes.
Is eligible. I also thought of Billy Gunn. He is eligible. I'd like to see him. We were talking earlier in the show, Blue Panther. Let's see him. There's so many Japanese old guys who could also be there. Nagata, Kojima, Tenzan, tons of people, right? Who are some other people who could be there that you'd like to see? Kid Cash, we threw around.
Cash, yeah.
Rob Van Dam's just too young. He's 54.
Action Mike Jackson will probably be there. He's old.
Yeah. Trying to think of other older
The
guys.
American Giant, who is maybe the worst wrestler I've ever seen in my life, but he's a great locker room guy.
Mm-hmm. Who are some older guys? Because I think around the age of a little younger than Billy Gunn, maybe. How old's...
Tomorrow will be fun, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Who else? Are there any like ex-WWE guys who could be there? How old's Jeff Hardy? He's got to be getting close, right?
No, I don't think so.
He's only 47. Okay. Matt's 50. I thought Jeff was older. I don't know. Anybody else you can think of that we could get in this? Anybody from the TNA, maybe, or from
See, that's the thing that I know it's not going to be most of these Ghost and those guys. I don't think. I think it'll be these old indie dudes. That'll be really funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because you gotta remember,
I'm really interested to see who the lineup.
You gotta remember that Virgil was at like the third one as Starman, so it'll be somebody weird. Like, don't worry, it'll be weirdos.
Yeah. Anything else from GCW?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Favorite things of the week. We're gonna start. This is where I hand out the gold, silver, and bronze hot dogs. Shane hands out the gold, silver, and bronze handshake. As always, we start with the bronze handshake. Shane, what do you got? Third favorite thing this week.
It's tough. Let's go with yours first. My mind's blanking right now.
I went with Ricochet Rich Swann from FSW.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Commander and Hologram versus the Lucha Tag Team match. That was pretty fun.
Okay, that's a pretty good one. That was close to making it for me. My silver was the Mox Cope Spike Spot. That was number 2 for me. What are you gonna do at silver? Handshake.
I'm gonna give it to. I guess John Cena.
Cena?
Yes, I liked it, but it was more the same.
Are you including Cody in that?
Yeah, I'm gonna include Cody in
Cena
that.
and Cody. I'm gonna give it to them. So my gold, and I have an alternate plan if you don't think this is valid. It's kind of cheating. I put the whole New Japan Cup here, like the whole tournament. It did take place over multiple weeks, but it wrapped up this week. Does that count? Is that fair?
I'll give it to you.
Fair game? Okay.
I guess to me it's just.
If I couldn't do it, I was gonna bump Mox Cope up to gold, Ricochet Swan up to silver, and Megan Bain, Chris Statlander would go in my bronze.
I guess I'll give it to you, but like I guess this is just like the best things we watched this week. I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I did watch a good portion of the cup. This
So
week.
I guess we could just like, evolve this to be what we watched this week. Our best 3 things, be recent,
Mm-hmm.
and then like.
Well, also like most of the matches I watched, I think I was like only behind by like 2 matches when we recorded last week.
You'll be fine.
So most of the matches I watched this week were from this week. Like the
Yeah.
whole quarterfinals, most of the second round, the semifinals and finals were all this week. So, but I give it to the whole New Japan Cup. It was just an incredible tournament. I really had a lot of fun watching it. What's your gold?
The Spike Spot.
The Spike Spot. Yeah, that is fair. It was disgusting. We should have done I don't know, maybe next week. Maybe sometime we'll do, because we kind of have a busy show next week. But sometime we should do like a countdown list of like the grossest bumps and moves and stuff we've seen. Because I feel like Darby Allin would be like 4 of them. Like remember that time it was in the Jacksonville, that little side arena at the Jaguar Stadium, Daly's place, and he got thrown like into the ropes and almost got decapitated.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like half of our bumps would be Darby Allin, but we should, that would be a good idea sometime. Lightning round. You ready for the matches we're gonna hear this week?
Sure.
See this week. Nothing announced for Collision or Raw match wise, so it's just Dynamite and SmackDown. On Dynamite though, we have 5 matches. First, Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita. So excitement level 1 through 10. What do you got?
I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. Mark Davis versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Certified sirloin beefsteak match.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna give that another 8. Yeah.
Okay, this one seems right up your alley. Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher.
I saw Brody King call him the fart, so a 10.
Nice. Do you call him just the fart or the proto fart?
The fart.
The
Proto Star is a ball of gas.
That's true. It is a ball of gas that's about to become a star. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford versus the reuniting Thunderstorm. Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm.
10.
Yeah. And Kenny Omega versus Vanilla Baby Blake Christian. Just out of weirdness, this is like a 10 for me.
I'm gonna be so real. A 2.
Really?
I don't want to watch this.
It's just so bizarre that it's happening that I love it.
Like, you know what? If he brings back that shitty gimmick he had for like 2 weeks in GCW, a 10.
The one that we heard, but
Yes.
the terrible,
A 10.
yeah,
An
Sound.
easy 10. Because imagine just waiting for this Kenny comes out, and then all of a sudden you hear,
that would be awful.
yeah, that'd be great.
SmackDown for the U.S. We have 2 title matches on SmackDown. For the U.S. title, LA Knight versus Braun Strowman. It's like a 4 for me, I guess. What do you got?
I'll give it. Yeah, I'll say a 4.
Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly for the tag titles. This may not be a classic wrestling match, but this will at its very least be entertaining. The Street Profits and Pretty Deadly. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll say a 6.
So, what is the Ty Dillinger 10 of the week? Because I'm going to go off board, and I think the Ty Dillinger 10 of the week is Effie and Microman.
Yeah, you know what? I agree.
While we're talking about it, excitement level for Zeta Steel, Megan Bain, WWE ID versus AEW.
That's another 10. Actually, there's like 3 10s on that show. So
yeah. So I think honestly, Effie Microman, and then of course we didn't talk about it. But here is your platform. Talk about Homicide for a minute. And then we'll get into the match
right,
recommendation.
right.
Explain his importance, what he is to wrestling.
He was never that world. He was a world champion one time. That's it. And he lost
In Ring of Honor,
yeah,
right?
he held it for like a couple of months, and he beat Danielson for it, and got destroyed by Morishima for it. So that's he was a transitional champ from like one of the greats to one of the greats at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Homicide was a great tag team guy. He was one of the best. He was one of the top indie talents from when indie wrestling was starting to become really popular in the early 2000s.
Had a good TNA run.
Great TNA run with Homicide Hernandez. Any match where they do that Hernandez bomb bump is a good match.
Were
That
they the
bump scares
ones?
me.
Were they the ones wrestling Elix Skipper in that one cage match?
No, that's
oh, okay.
Robert Roode. Somebody
That's
else.
Robert Roode and somebody else. Okay, I was trying to think of some. There's some big moment that.
Oh
LAX
yeah,
is
no,
involved in.
Homicide in a cage match. Homicide. Yeah, there's a big moment. So Homicide was in that TNA first live episode where they went to Mondays. He was on the first one. They had a cage match for no one contendership. He's the one who gets his leg get stuck in the cage.
That's
that's
right.
Homicide. But then that gets upstaged by Jeff Hardy coming out and sitting on top of the cage.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean,
Cop Kill is one of the best moves of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Or Gringo Kill if you're in TNA. Further Breaker, it's in WWE 2K as the Cop Killer now,
That's cool.
which is crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm. Somebody at TNA, whoever's in charge of naming the moves and the moveset generator, has gotten incredibly based.
Yes,
with some because they finally named it the Kawada kicks,
kicks,
the J Driller,
Cop
Killer. They said so. Yeah. Are they going to put the what's it, Moonsault and Battery? Are they going to put that one in there?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Anyway, back to Homicide. Amazing career.
Amazing career just wrapped up. Sadly, didn't make the Mania week because of a brain cyst. I think.
Okay.
Something where he couldn't go on much longer, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Hall of Famer. Just pro wrestling Hall of Famer.
Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame for sure.
Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That. Maybe
Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
I would say yeah for sure.
And then as a tag team TNA Hall of Fame, I would say
for sure.
with
As a tag team
Hernandez.
Hernandez, yeah. Obviously, a great career that if you want to watch the best of, watch some LAX. Obviously,
Watch some LAX.
But a single
Match recommendation of
but
the
a
week.
singles match with Homicide. Our match recommendation this week is going to be Homicide versus Bryan Danielson at Final Battle 2006.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you can find that on Honor Club. You should be able to.
You should be able to that one, yeah.
Seems like one of the ones that at least the match on its own would be on Honor Club. Actually, let me just look it up. Bryan Danielson versus Homicide, Final Battle 06. It also might just be on YouTube. A lot of these old Ring of Honor matches are just...
It might be.
And then there's highlights. It might be on Honor Club. You might check it out. But yeah. So if you can find that match, that's our match recommendation of the week. If you want to listen to more of us, we just did 2 episodes of reviewing the Cruiserweight Classic. You can check those out. Coming out this week will be our review of WrestleMania 7 as we start the classic road to WrestleMania. If you want to listen to more classic reviews, we have WCW, ECW, Ring of Honor, New Japan, CZW. Like we've got a WXW. We've done a lot of different companies. So go check that out. That's in a playlist on our YouTube channel. We'll be back next week. Big week next week. We'll be predicting Sakura Genesis and predicting AEW Dynasty. So definitely check that out. Shane, you got anything else? All right. Shouts out to a great career from Homicide. And as always, enjoy wrestling. Hey, Chad. Done with the first one. All right, we're in my WrestleMania 13 notes. Got a lot of tabs open.